Hi friends, I'm happy to be here with you. I have a new book. It's called André, the Famous Harbor Seal. It's written by a Fran Hutkin and illustrated by a Jetta Frankel. This story is a true story, so I'm going to read to you what it says about that. Harry Goodrich was a man who loved animals, any animal and every animal, whether it walked or it flew or it swam. But Harry especially loved one animal, a seal called André. André was a seal who loved people. He loved grown-ups and he loved children who played on the beach. But he especially loved one person, a man called Harry Goodrich. This is their story, and it's all true. One spring day, Harry borrowed a friend's boat and went searching the harbor of Rockport, Maine. He knew these waters well. He was the town's harbor master. But on this day, Harry wasn't working. He was looking for a seal pup to keep as a pet. At that time, it wasn't against the law to catch wild seals and other marine animals. Today, nobody is allowed to even touch one unless he has a special permit. But in 1961, there was no law against what Harry planned to do. He had raised 2 other seal pups, but they had not lived to become adults. This time, Harry was determined that things would be different. Soon, he and his friends spied a pup bobbing in the waves with only its big, round eyes and the top of its head in sight. The men drew near and the little seal looked up. Then he swam right over to the boat as if it were an island ferry he had been waiting for. Harry took the seal pup home to meet his family, his wife, his children, and their many pets. The Goodrich children shared their father's interest in animals. At times, the house had been home to dogs, cats, rabbits, chickens, a pet robin, and of course the 2 harbor seal pups, just like this one. The family named him André. At first, André spent his days in the yard and his nights in the bathtub in the basement. Twice a day, Harry took him to the Rockport Harbor for a swim. Once André learned to eat fish, his routine changed. He spent the whole day, every day, in the ocean. Sometimes he would disappear overnight or even for a few days. During these times, Harry worried. Still, he told himself that if the little seal didn't come back, that was okay. He expected André to return to the wild someday. But almost every evening, André met Harry at the town float for a fish dinner and a ride home. Harry's little seal soon became a familiar sight around the harbor. He would swim up to the fishermen in their rowboats and let them rub his belly with an oar. He would nap wherever he wanted, in an empty dinghy, on a pile of rope, or on a lobster trap. Harry knew that harbor seals are smart, so he decided to teach André a few tricks. The growing seal pup soon learned that if he rolled over, shook hands, or clapped his flippers, he would get a fish. At first, André would do the tricks just for the food. But before long, though, he was doing the tricks just for fun. People came to watch Harry and André at feeding time. The young seal loved their applause and laughter. Soon, dinner time always meant a show. But Maine summers are short. Winter soon came and Rockport Harbor became covered with ice. The only clear spot was André's entrance hole, where he met Harry for fish. One morning, Harry woke up to a powerful winter storm. He went to the harbor. The ice had broken up. Large chunks ground against each other in the waves. André's hole was gone. There was no way to know whether the young seal was all right. All Harry could do was wait. The weeks crawled by. In February, he got a letter that included an article clipped from a newspaper in Marblehead, Massachusetts, a coastal town about 180 miles to the south. The article told about a seal named Josephine that delighted local people with tricks. As he read, Harry became more and more certain that Josephine was really André. So he called a relative who lived near Marblehead and asked him to take a look. But by the time the relative got there, Josephine had left. Weeks passed. Then Harry got a phone call. André was in Rockland, just a few miles away, and he needed help. Harry rushed to his friend's aid. It looked as if André had fought with another seal. He was cut and bruised, and one of his flippers was badly chewed. Many of his wounds were infected. To find out what to do for André, Harry called some experts. They told him that the seal would eventually die from its injuries. Yet Harry wasn't going to give up. He called the veterinarian who took care of the rest of the Goodrich animals. Dr. Mack gave André some strong antibiotics. The medicine worked and the seal recovered. The next summer, Harry and André made up some new tricks. All of them grew out of things Harry had seen the seal do as part of his natural behavior. For example, when André stretched, he would sometimes cover his eyes with a flipper. He quickly learned to do that when Harry asked, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself, André?" Sometimes when Harry had a particular trick in mind, the seal had to figure out what he was being asked to do. So he would try several different tricks. When he did the right one, Harry's praise and a fish for a reward let André know he was correct. And once he learned a trick, he never forgot it. The harbor seal's fame spread throughout Rockport, beyond Maine, even beyond New England. Newspapers and magazines from all over the country told the story of André and Harry. Visitors came to Rockport, especially to see the harbor master and his animal friend. When summer ended, Harry again had to figure out what to do with André. He couldn't leave him in his summer pen because the ice that always formed in the harbor would crush it. So Harry moved André into a friend's boathouse. Miserable, the seal spent his time gazing out the window at the sea. Harry visited him regularly, but André remained glum. One day a big storm blew in, so Harry brought the seal home and put him in the basement. In the morning, André was gone. Harry discovered a pile of snow on the floor. The seal had pushed out of a window and slithered over the snow to the water. Harry called the newspapers to alert people that André was loose. Soon he got a call from a town 50 miles away. He drove there and brought André home. Late the following fall, Harry decided to let André take his chances in the wild. After all, the seal wasn't a baby anymore, and others of his kind managed just fine in the ocean over the winter. The experiment succeeded, and Harry and André developed a yearly routine. The seal spent the winter at sea, then in the spring he returned to Rockport and his pen. Even though André was full grown, Harry worried about him during their months of separation. The seal still faced possible harm in the stormy Atlantic. Maybe what André needed was a winter home where he would be happy. Harry found him one, about 200 miles to the south at the New England Aquarium in Boston. Several other harbor seals lived there, so André would have their company. He would be well fed, and most of all, be safe from the dangers of the winter ocean. The aquarium was happy to have such a famous guest. That fall, aquarium workers picked up André in Rockport and took him to Boston by truck. When word spread that this special seal was at the aquarium, crowds of people came to see him, just as they did in Maine. When spring came, the aquarium called to ask Harry when they should bring André back to Rockport. "Don't," Harry said. "Let him swim home." But Boston Harbor was full of large ships like freighters and oil tankers. Everyone worried that André would be injured if they let him go at Long Wharf. Instead, the aquarium decided to truck André to Marblehead and release him there. Harry met André and the aquarium people in Marblehead on the day of the release. They loaded the seal onto a boat and chugged him out in Marblehead Harbor. Once they reached open water, Harry said, "Go home, André." The seal leaped off the boat and vanished into the water. Would he find his way back to Maine? Did he want to? After a winter in captivity, would he decide to spend the summer at sea instead of in his cage in Rockport Harbor? As Harry drove home, he wondered. A few days later, the phone rang. A fisherman had found André curled up in his dinghy, sound asleep. Soon another call came, and then another, all from people who had seen the seal. Each sighting was closer to home. Then there was one last call from Rockport Harbor. André was home. For the remainder of André's life, The seal spent summers in Maine and winters either in Boston or at the Mystic Aquarium in Connecticut. His fame continued to spread. The Rockport town manager named André the town's honorary harbor master. And in 1978, André helped unveil a life-size statue of himself made of polished granite. It looks out to the sea even today. So, if you get to Rockport, Maine, which is a great place to visit, you can go down by the harbor and see the seal, the granite carving of André. That was a cute story. Have a great time, guys. See you later.